talk about it.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. All right, now, if you're just joining us, we're taking your calls, 800-585-1051. We're talking about the mass shooting that took place in Tennessee. 3 children, 3 adults killed, 3 9-year-old children, and this was at the Covenant School, a private Christian elementary school in Nashville, Tennessee. 2 of the victims were school employees. One was the head of the school, and the other was a custodian. Now, the shooter was a 28-year-old Nashville resident that once went to the school. She was trans, and police right now are looking for the reasons why. They believe maybe she had problems going to the school before, and maybe her motive was revenge. They're not sure. But we just want to open up the phone lines and have a conversation. I mean, we talk about this so much, and this is something that always happens, you know, and it seems almost like normal, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? You know, we sit around and we try to figure out the person's motive and things like that. At this point, I honestly don't care about anybody's motive. I just care about protecting these kids. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it doesn't matter what a person's motive is. It matters what, you know, they're actually doing. What they're doing is running up in these schools with guns and killing children. Mm-hmm. I just want to know how to protect these kids. And not just protect these kids, protect all of us from mass shootings. And we've said it a million times on this radio. I think all of these schools should have armed security. Right. I think all of these schools should have metal detectors. You know what I mean? I don't know if that money comes from the government. I don't know if that money comes from the state. I'm sure it's not going to be police officers, but they can hire private armed security. I just know something needs to be done. And we have these conversations all the time, and all I hear these politicians delivering is thoughts and prayers. And I keep telling y'all all the time, all you got to do is Google the senators who have benefited the most from NRA money, and you will see the NRA has spent a lot of money to benefit the political campaigns of senators who oppose gun safety legislation. These senators refuse to support common sense gun reform because the NRA is in their pockets. They have no political or financial reason to fix this problem. So you know what happens when you don't fix a problem? It becomes culture. And that's what this is. This is American culture. This is the American way. Mass shootings are just as American as apple pie. And I don't even like apple pie. I like sweet potato.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, there's so many different problems, right? We could talk about the metal detectors in schools, right? And that way, hopefully, we can stop it. But if there's nobody running the metal detectors, we need security. We need police officers in school, train people with
if they're not police officers, private security.
Right.
You know what I mean? Former police officers who are no longer on the force.
Correct.
You know, have these private security firms. You know, former military veterans.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Who have gone into, you know, private security work. Like, trust me, there is so many private security guards, I'm sure, that would love to get contracts from these schools.
Absolutely. And we got to talk about the gun laws. I mean, it's to the point you should not be able to turn 18 and be able to buy a AR-15. Like that is crazy.
How many times are we gonna say that?
You shouldn't be able to be 21 and just be able to purchase a firearm and not be able to take a test.
I agree.
You think about it, for all these things, you know, if you want a car, you got to take a test. You got to be able to pass a test to be able to get your license. A gun, you turn 21 and you could just purchase a firearm, not knowing somebody's mental, not knowing if somebody's upset, mad, angry, pissed off. Not like, could you imagine who you are at 21? You're not able to control your emotions, but you're given the power of an AR-15. Like, think about that.
Do you realize
that's crazy?
Do you realize we could literally take any old talk break from any of these mass shootings and play them back right now, and people would think it was new?
Which is sad.
Like, literally. And I'm gonna say this again. We had this debate here on the radio. Teachers need to be armed. If you're in a state, if you're in an open carry state, if you're in a state where, you know, you're allowed to, you know, carry your firearm, if you're a teacher and you are licensed to carry and you know how to shoot, you should be allowed to bring your firearm to school. And I don't want to hear that rhetoric about, you know, teachers can go crazy too. Show me the statistics. I guarantee you it's been more people who've ran up in schools and killed students and teachers than it is teachers who have opened fire on students.
I don't mind that if it's proper training. And that's my whole point, because see, now, you know, in a school, you're not just shooting somebody, you're shooting around kids, right? So now you might have kids running around as you're trying to shoot your target, and if you don't know how to shoot, you can hit an innocent kid. That's my only point. I just want to make sure that whoever has that firearm is getting training. And if you do have a firearm, don't think just because you bought a gun, you know how to shoot. No, you need proper training. Just like when you drive a car. 9 times out of 10, most of you got training, whether it was special ed or not special ed, driver's ed or whatever it may be.
Might have been for you.
Might have been. The
way I hear you talk, it might have been for you.
Might have been.
Sir.
But driver's ed, whatever it may be, you need this proper training. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Major.
Major, good morning. Talk to us, bro.
Morning, Charlamagne. Morning, Taz. Morning, DJ Envy.
Peace, King.
I wonder, where's the LGBT community about this? Like, listening to y'all this morning, I didn't even know that lady was even part of that. But if y'all remember when the baby was having his concert and after that whole ordeal, they wanted to cancel him. Where's LGBT right now on this topic? Where they at? How come they're not trying to take the podium to speak on this? Like, what's going on with this?
I mean, it's the same reason I'm not going, speak up if a black man, murders somebody this morning. Like, one person doesn't represent a whole community, even though, this society loves to do that. This society loves to use the face of one person to demonize a whole community. They've been doing that to black people forever, So, I mean, I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't see what this person being trans has to do with this situation, personally. I could care less what this person's gender is, what their sexuality is. He's a murderer that killed a bunch of kids, or she's a murderer that killed a bunch of kids. That's you're not gonna get mad at me for not using the proper pronouns for no goddamn kid killer.
Absolutely.
All right,
Melissa. Good morning.
Hey, morning.
Melissa, I gotta ask you, where you from?
Miami.
You're not related to Alan, are you?
God, I wish. I
Okay.
like to call him my daddy sometimes.
Oh, okay, because Melissa's last name is Iverson, so I was
Alan your daddy?
curious to see if.
And she calls him her daddy. You said you call him your daddy sometime?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
How old are you, ma'am?
Oh, do we have to say that? Above 30.
Oh, that'll get you in the club. Yeah, that'll get you in the club. Alan Iverson's my daddy. Show me your ID. I would have did that. Yeah. Now, what's your thoughts, Mama?
Well, I would like to say that we need to start focus on the mental health issue, the human issue, not the gun issue, because as long as these humans are out here and they're angry and they're hurting and we're ignoring them and calling people crazy instead of dealing with their human issues, we're going to have problems because these people that are shooting, this isn't their first outburst in the world.
You're right.
And we need to deal with the human issue as well as the gun issue.
I mean, but once again, we live in a country that is not good at solving problems. So if we can't even focus on one problem, these complex issues, we have no shot. Because this is a complex issue. She's right. It is a mental health issue. It is a gun, a gun reform issue. It's all of these things. It is a school safety issue. It's all of these things.
But you know what I was thinking, like, how do we say F the politicians and do something ourselves?
I just told y'all what to do.
Is it us going to the schools and demanding and putting money together for the security? Like, what can people do? Because obviously politics are playing a different game.
Well, on a local level, you still got to get your state elected officials to pass this kind of legislation. But I guess on a just parental level, I guess you would have to. No, it's all politics. What am I talking about?
Can it be like a neighborhood watch where, like,
it's all politics.
Monday, Tuesday, this dad do it. Wednesday, Thursday, this dad. I mean, it's
all politics. Whether you want metal detectors in the schools, whether you want armed security in the schools, it's all going to go through politics. Whether you want teachers to carry firearms, it's all politics. That's why Nina Turner always says, you can sit here and talk about you don't do politics. If you don't do politics, politics will eventually do you. It's all politics.
800-585-1051. We're taking your calls. We're talking about this deadly mass shooting that happened in Tennessee yesterday. Call us up right now. Let's have a conversation, man. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Call me. Get your opinion to the Breakfast Club topic. Come on. 800-585-1051.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, we're taking your calls on this mass shooting that took place yesterday in Tennessee at the Covenant School, a private Christian elementary school in Nashville. 3 children died, 2 adults, and they killed the shooter. The shooter was 28 years old, went to the school, was trans, and they're just trying to figure out why. So we're just taking your calls. So many people are on the phone lines right now. Hello, who's this?
Hello.
Hey, what's your name?
Hey, Shonda. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. Talk to us.
Shonda.
Good morning. I'm Shonda.
Hey, Shonda.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning.
My name is Sharla, Maine.
Yo, shut up, man. What's your thoughts, mama?
Everybody know your voice, Charlamagne.
Oh, I guess that's thank you.
That is a thing.
Thank you.
My thing is, the school shooting 25 years ago, when I was in school, we didn't have these problems. It's something that they're doing, that they were doing back then, that they're not doing now, to make all these gaps. You know how it's just like you baking something, all air bubbles get in it. Like just say you're making some bread, and it gets air bubbles. The air bubbles are coming from somewhere. These problems in these schools is coming from somewhere. You got to start at the root of the problem. If this wasn't going on 25 years ago, in this sense, why is it going on now? The government is lacking somewhere. Some rules have lacked somewhere.
All right.
Some laws have lacked somewhere.
Yeah, I think
No reason. There's something going on to get guns into the school.
I think what you're describing is deregulation. You know, when you have deregulation in an industry, and there's definitely been, deregulation in regards to, gun reform.
Yeah,
You know, like we talk about how easy it is to go purchase a weapon. I think that on top of lack of resources given to mental health initiatives, and just lack of school safety overall.
I think that, and I think also it's a lot of copycats, right? And when I say copycats, I see other people see this happening and then decide this is what they want to do, right? Like you said, 25 years ago, we didn't see too many mass shootings. We didn't see any at all. But then I'm thinking about it like this, right? Think about it like this. Before 9/11, right? You can walk on a plane without going through security. You could actually walk to the gate. Your mother could walk you to the gate. You could walk your girlfriend to the gate. You could walk your wife to the gate. And something happened that changed drastically where it's so much protection, right? You got to go through metal detectors. There's so much police. Things evolve and things change. And I think with the schools, we have to do the same thing. I mean, we've seen too many shootings. We've seen too many problems. Things have to evolve and change. And we need security. We need police. We need to protect our kids.
I agree, but there definitely was school shootings 25 years ago. I mean, there was school shootings before there was 9/11. Columbine was like 99.
But we didn't see it as much.
I mean, we shouldn't have to. After Columbine, that's when things should have changed.
They're right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Hello, who's this?
How you doing? This is Mo from Florida.
Mo from Florida. What's up, brother? Talk to us.
How's it going, brothers? Hey,
What up, Mo?
say thank y'all for everything y'all do.
Thank you,
Y'all,
brother.
y'all literally get my morning going.
Thank you, Mo.
This morning started a little different, man. We got this tragedy we're talking about, and I'm sick of talking about it. But I just got a little topic. I read an article a while ago and talked about how many unemployed veterans we have home stateside right now. Veterans who have been trained already by the military.
That's right.
And there's over 650,000 unemployed veterans.
Right.
There's about 130 to 150,000 schools, public and private together. The numbers there. Even if you vet half these veterans, you say, okay, half of them come back and do this task. You're still doubling the personnel at each school.
You're right.
You're giving them a job. How many of our veterans are struggling to get a job when they come back? How many of them are yearning for a place to still protect and serve?
You're right.
What better than a school? These are people who already signed up to give their life for strangers, even overseas.
That's
These
right.
are people who are trained, who we paid already. We've invested in to train them.
That's right.
But yet, we just sit there and let them continue to be unemployed and our schools unprotected.
Only thing you got to do for those people is make sure they have
Thanks,
proper
Mo.
mental health checks and put them to work. And it's Britain. In Britain, it took just one school shooting to pass major gun control. 26 years ago in Scotland, a gunman entered a primary school, killed 16 students, a teacher, injured 15 other people. And the following year, Parliament banned private ownership of most handguns, as well as semi-automatic weapons, and required mandatory registration for shotgun owners. And there have been no school shootings in the UK since then. So all it takes is one.
That's right.
After Columbine, if they wanted to, they could have shut all of this down. But like I keep telling y'all, just Google the senators who have benefited the most from NRA money, and you will see the NRA has spent a lot of money to benefit the political campaigns of these senators who oppose gun safety legislation.
And you know what bothers me too much when they talk about the money, right? And how much money it will cost. But then you got to think about how much money we give to all these other nations, right? Think about all the money we didn't gave to Ukraine and the tanks and the ammunition.
And they're giving money to Ukraine to defend themselves.
Right.
Give the money to our public schools so they can properly defend themselves.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yo, it's
Which is
really
crazy.
just that simple.
800-585-1051. We'll take some more calls when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Call me. Add your opinion to the Breakfast Club top. Come on. 800-585-1051.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're taking your calls. We're talking about this mass shooting. We just wanted you guys to vent a little bit. So if you don't know, of course, there was a mass shooting in Nashville, Tennessee yesterday at the Covenant School, a private Christian school. 3 children died, 2 adults, and the shooter was killed. 28-year-old went to the school. They're trying to figure out why, what the motive was. They're still searching for a motive. The shooter was trans. So we're taking your calls and just trying to just get you to vent a little bit. I know this is on your mind. I know a lot of you are taking your kids to school, so you feel like I do, anxiety. Double checking and triple checking the cameras today if you got them. Hello, who's this?
Hey, yo, this is B-Mom from the Metro. How y'all doing?
803, what's happening? We
Talk
back
to
in
us.
the Final Four, baby. Lady Gamecocks.
Yes, Dawn Staley is amazing. Very proud of her and the Lady Gamecock.
You already know the Louis Vuitton Dawn. She was dripped out last night, wasn't she?
Yes, she
Yes,
was.
she was, as always. But, you
Yep.
know, the issue, like, on the school thing for me is, like, you have to have the armed guards, but it's going to have to be for people to get a coalition. Like, people are going to have to come together. Like, so they got Jill Biden up there talking and stuff like that. And it's like, I feel for her in an instance because it's like, this ain't even on the government no more or anybody associated with the government. So she can get that kind of applause and stuff like that or that pro clap, but it shouldn't even be on her. This is up to the people. Like, I'm looking at the Richland County taxes right now for schools this year because I had to pay my my vehicle tax, and it's 57.6% for schools. And that money historically, especially in South Carolina for schools and for education, goes underutilized.
That's right, because you know South Carolina schools are trash. We know this. You know what I mean? The corridor of shame is a real thing. We know this.
Yeah, so like when you look at all that stuff, this ain't on the government no more. This is on the people.
I
This
do.
is on the people to create something. And
I
Go
disagree.
ahead.
I disagree.
Thank you,
I mean, I agree with you when you say it's on the people, but it's not. It's definitely still on the government. Because when you have senators that are refusing to support common sense gun reform because the NRA is in their pockets, that's a problem.
Hello, who's this? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your thought, Mama?
Well, so I definitely agree that there needs to be some gun reform. Everyone always talks about that, but I just don't know about having guns in a school because, I mean, kids are accessing them at home too, so that would just be another option or another, like, incident of a child getting their teacher's gun or, you know, it going off accidentally, so that would be my only concern about
But
it.
why do we act like teachers can't be responsible for their own firearms? Like, why do we act like the teacher's going to have the gun just sitting on their desk?
I mean, you're right, but like, wasn't the door left unlocked for? Isn't that something you also mentioned? People not even locking doors, and that's part of protocol. So,
I agree.
Yeah, but we just got to follow the protocol. Maybe having a fingerprint access to a safe or a door or whatever it may be, because when you do get a firearm, if you go to purchase a firearm, depending on what state you are, they take you through those classes and those scenarios, and a lot of times you have to make sure you continue with those classes. I know in New Jersey, for a concealed firearm, you have to I think it's 2 years, you have to go back and take a class and be up on what it is so that you can keep that firearm,
And by the way, it's not just schools, even though we're talking about schools right now. I go to my daughter's cheerleading competitions, man. And I told you this last time, maybe. I was in Atlanta. I think we was at the Georgia Convention Center? I think that's what it's called. They were telling me how when there's a black event there, like your car show, how all the doors are locked and you can't go in through side doors, and they make y'all pay for extra security because they don't know what could happen. At these cheerleading competitions, people are just walking in anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going through any doors. But the security that I'm with, because I'm always got security when I'm out with these, at these events, and they're looking around like, this is dangerous.
This is unsafe.
This is like, this is dangerous. It's like somebody could just come in here and start spraying. And so their mind automatically goes to what that looks like for people who are walking around with, guns. Yeah. And you're in Georgia, so that's a place where it's, I don't think you can't go into any facility with it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Georgia, you can't. Texas, you can.
Yeah.
Texas, you could walk in a facility with a gun, and you can't deny somebody from walking in with a gun. But, to your point, which is crazy when a lot of these businesses and places look at us and look at us as black people. They charge us more and make us do more. When I have to do these car shows, I have to pay way more for security than your daughter's cheerleading, than my daughter's dance.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not right. I've never had a problem, knock on wood, or any of my events. We have the proper security. We have armed security. We have police officers. But I do it to make people feel safe. But, you know, we have to do these things for these events.
Is that why you say you're a white Dominican? Or like you say, you tell them you're a lapdog for a rich white person? Is that why you say
No, I'm
these
black,
things?
sir. I'm black. I don't know what you're talking about.
Today.
I'm black.
Yesterday you was a lapdog for a rich white
No,
person.
I wasn't. I was black.
Day before that you were Dominican.
You was a fish.
I was not a fish.
You was a
I
fish.
said I would like to be
Yesterday
one.
you
Just
said
for
you
a
would be
day.
a fish.
Well,
Yesterday you said you were
playing
Tingle.
make believe.
We were playing make believe. Okay, well,
we
I
were
was
playing make believe.
Yesterday I was a dog, a lap dog. Yes, I was.
No.
We
So
played
let me
make
ask you a
believe.
question.
Yes, sir.
If they gave you a discount, right?
Discount,
If they gave you a discount on these buildings, if you identified as a lapdog for a rich white person, would you do it?
How long I got to do it for? What's the moral of the story,
The
man?
duration of the event. The moral of the story
I gotta bark.
is, as long as there are senators who benefit from NRA money, you will never see common sense gun reform passed in this country. And, you know, I'm at the point right now where the only bright idea I have is, yes, in these states where, you know, people are legally able to carry guns, let the teachers carry their own firearms, yo. I'm out of bright ideas because nobody else is coming to save us. So at this point, we just got to save ourselves and our children.
All right. Well, when we come back, we got your rumor report. People are mad at Logic. You remember Logic, signed to Def Jam. He's a black and white artist. Well, we're going to talk to him when we come back. Well, we're going to talk about him when we come back. People are mad at him. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up. In the morning. The Breakfast Club.